What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason and Joe here. Coming at you with a review today. We're talking about the new Wet Leg album called Moisturizer, their second album. There was a lot of hype around the first one, Chaise Longue, whatever, however you say that. Was a pretty big hit as far as like indie hits go. A lot of buzz around the band. People are interested to see where the second one goes, if they're able to kind of keep carry that energy through, or if it's a sophomore slump.
Well, there wasn't a lot of buzz around these parts. And I don't recall. You like Chaise Lounge, didn't you?
I did, yep.
Did you like the album? Did you like the self-titled?
Yeah, and I actually liked it more than I remember liking it because I assumed it was a 3.5. When I went back to score this new one, I saw that I had actually given it 4 stars.
Wow. I gave it probably a 3 star. I did not. I hated Shay. Shay is long, lungy. I thought it was lame, and I did not like the Mean Girls quotes in it. I thought that was dumb. And it was very like herky jerky, sort of, like talk singing, kind of post-punk, very dry. Basically everything I don't like in music. I did like Wet Dream from the album. I think it was in my top 100, but uh, I did not really care for the album that much. It was just very much not my style for the most part. Just kind of thought it was annoying and not as clever as other people and they themselves thought.
Well, this new one is produced by Dan Carey. He's worked with Sia, Kylie Minogue, Franz Ferdinand. It was actually mixed by Alan Moulder. Alan Moulder has done a ton of stuff. He mixed Siamese Dream. He produced Mezcal Head by Swerve Driver. He mixed The Downward Spiral. He mixed Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Portrait of American Family by Marilyn Manson. He mixed Wild Mood Swings by The Cure. He was the co-producer and mixer of Pop by U2, and his credits go on forever.
So some big names behind the boards, although I think Dan Carey also plays synth on the album, if I'm not mistaken. But he also did like Squid and Fontaine's DC and some of that like Black Midi, Schlagenheim. He did some work on that. So he was involved in the whole windmill gang scene, which explains why I don't like the first album very much.
Well, how do you feel about the second one?
Well, I actually like it a lot more. It's much better, in my opinion. I think it's just so much more depth. It still has it still has their like trademark, I guess. It's not really, probably not really a trademark, but their distinctive sound and attitude. And it's in your face and very sexualized in some spots. It's clever, but this one has so much more melody, and they dip into songs that just did not exist at all on their debut. I get like some Always and some like Billie Eilish in some of these songs, especially once you get to like later. The first couple tracks are kind of like Wet Leg as you remember them, CPR and Liquid Eyes. Maybe a little more like alt rock from the 90s in there, brash and biting. And Catch These Fists, I think is pretty great. It's got that wonky circular guitar riff, and it has like that talk singing, which I don't love in the verse, but then it gets to the chorus and it just explodes, and there's a ferocious rock sound, very thick guitars and everything. And that works for me. I can deal with the talk singing if it's just part of the song, if it's the verse or, a pre-chorus. When it's the whole song, it doesn't work for me. But I think they use that talk singing and the attitude that they established on their first album, a little more guitars, a little more just rock and roll in there. And then there's some softer stuff. Davina McCall has like a little jangle to it. Felt a little like Strokesian almost at times. And Rian Teasdale's vocals. I mean, I don't really remember her singing that much on the first album. I know she does, but here, it kind of sounds like a Billie Eilish, Molly Rankin. She's got like a good lower register. Um, Jennifer's Body has some cool guitars on it. And, I think overall it's just a better mix of songs. It probably won't work as well with the critics because, it's I guess a little more generic sounding and taking from more rock influences, and it's not just that kind of shock value talk singing that was so prevalent on their first album. But to me, these songs are just better. They have legitimately catchy, powerful verses and choruses. Don't Speak, for one, is pretty great. 1121, you actually kind of get like a little heartfelt. Like it's not just sort of posturing. All in all, I just think it's a good mix. It takes everything that I didn't like really in the first album. It just smooths it out a little bit. It adds in some melody and some better choruses and some more rock and roll. And to me, that is a much better mix. So I like it. I'm going 4 stars for it.
Wow. I'm kind of the opposite of you. I mean, I'm all for melody usually too, but I think they were really good at that kind of like dry delivery, humorous, a little angsty, a little bratty. That was really working on the debut, and it works in spots here. It's not entirely gone. I think the first half of the record is much stronger than the back half for me. I like CPR a good bit, except for the kind of like ambulance siren thing effect that's going on through it. I found a little annoying. But that's a pretty good song. Liquid Eyes, tight, punchy pop rock. Catch These Fists has a little bit of Carrie's Franz Ferdinand connection influence pulling through. Kind of that riff kind of reminds me of some Franz Ferdinand stuff. Davina McCall's interesting, a little different, but I think that one works really well. That might be my favorite on the record. Man Get Out, I think, is another standout. But around there on the track listing, even a little before it with Jennifer's Body, things start to get a little weaker for me. They're the type of songs that are like perfectly enjoyable to listen to and they have decent melodies, but they're not like super sticky and they do end up coming across I think a little generic. Some of the tunes end up in like I don't know, like Olivia Rodrigo territory a little bit. And no, not I like Olivia Rodrigo. That's not a terrible place to be, but I don't think these songs are as memorable as some of, Olivia Rodrigo's best songs. Pokemon, that is a weird one. That is almost like one of those tunes where you're like listening along, and if you're not like really engaged, you're suddenly like, what am I listening to? It sounds like a totally different band to me. Like the whole energy and mood of that track just does not fit with the rest of it. Don't Speak's a little bit that way as well. You and Me at Home, I think, is a decent closer. All the production's a little strange on that one with the really like loud vocals in the chorus. But all in all, I think it's a decent record. I like most of the songs. I just think that a little of the personality of the debut is missing. It's not quite as engaging as the previous one. I'm at like a high 3.5 for this.
Yeah, I mean, if you like the style of the first one, this one kind of it surprised me, and I was expecting to not like it. Although I did like Cassie's Fist as a single, but I didn't know if that was just going to be like a one-off thing or how it would all go. But yeah, it is kind of surprising the direction that they go because it's much softer and like much less aggressive. And the lyrics, I think, are still kind of shocking in some places and good in that way. Um, but like the dreamier guitars and everything and like the vocal delivery was not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah, the vocals are different in spots. I know that, I mean, they have two singers. Most of it's sung by Ryan Teasdale. Hester Chambers sings lead on two tracks. But there's like times where like it feels like this record has like four singers or something. Like they just like
Yeah.
are very different. I guess you could say versatile, because you get different styles from. from Teasdale, but I prefer the drier, like kind of deadpan delivery.
And I do not, but I think it works here. Enough. There's enough there.
All right, so let us know what you're thinking of this record if you've heard it. We are also closing in. I think we're about maybe 230 subscribers away from 20K. So let's make a little push. If you are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and check the video description for links to our social media, our record label, our merch, our Patreon, all that kind of stuff. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one.